Hi, welcome back. And tonight I'm going to go ahead and make elk red and green enchiladas. So I call them Christmas enchiladas, but they're good for any time of the year. And the first thing I'm going to do is cut up some onion. I already started a little bit. I had a gigantic onion, so I'm going to cut the rest of it up right now. It is about mid-January right now, and we've had a very hectic beginning of the year, so that's why I haven't had any new videos come out. So if you're one that goes ahead and follows me, subscriber, thank you very much, but I have not had any videos because, like I said, a very hectic beginning of the year. So I got the onions. I got a giant onion. It's like such a big onion that it fits in this giant bowl here, so it's probably good I started cutting this onion up before I started filming. And now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work on the poblano chilies. First I have to clean them up, so I'm going to try to move this over here so you can see. Excuse the dishes in the sink. Like I said, very hectic beginning of the year. Hope everybody else's year is not as hectic, and if it is hectic, I hope it's good. So, all right. I'm just rinsing these off, and I'm going to spin this around. Okay, so I'm going to take the stem out of here. I'm starting dinner late, so that's not the best thing. I like to usually do it a bit earlier, but that's just the way it is. So I'm just going to cut this in half. So I'm going to try to go fast since it is so late. So I'm going to go over and clean out all the seeds and rinse this off. Be back in a sec. So I cleaned up the poblano chilies, got all the seeds out of there. I do have a few on the cutting board. I'll just move out of the way. And start cutting these up really small. These are strong. I hope they're not as strong when I cook them, because like I said, I started a little bit late. I don't really want to go to bed on a full stomach with spicy food. But I'm going to dice these up. Okay, so I had a huge thing of onions, but I'm doing probably like a cereal bowl of onions is what I actually need. And about that much of poblano chilies. And then I'm not going to cut up the garlic myself tonight because I'm in a hurry, so I'm just going to use the minced garlic. I'm just going to throw a very large amount of minced garlic on top of here. So when I go over to the stove, I'll have that all ready to go. Okay, and then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some cilantro, and I'm just going to prepare it right here so you can see what I end up throwing in there. So I got some cilantro, and I got some oregano, like a lot of oregano there, and this is Mexican oregano. I just keep on refilling. I buy the ones in the baggies, it's cheaper, and then I just refill the sprinkle bottle. And then some cumin. That. And then we have a mix that we make up at home. I have an empty spice bottle, and it's black pepper, onion powder, and garlic, and I use it almost on everything. So I'm just gonna pour some into the cap here. This is just gonna make things faster when I get over the stove because I'm gonna have things pre-measured up. And I'm gonna just take a fork and I'm just gonna mix this all up. And then we'll take everything over to the stove and start cooking. Okay, so what I'm cooking tonight is some ground elk meat that we actually did grind ourselves. We processed all the meat ourselves. So elk meat is extremely lean, so I'm going to have to go ahead and put some oil into the pan or it's going to stick terribly. If you are getting meat from the grocery store, more than likely you do not need to add any oil at all. So I'm going to coat the bottom of this pan, which I rinsed out. Best to probably have it dry. There was a little bit of water residue, not the best idea probably, but I'm going to make sure the oil coats the bottom of this pan here. Sorry for the noise. I found this really nice spatula with a really sharp edge, and it seems to work the best, but it's a loud one. So this is going to heat up. Okay, so the oil's ready. I'm just going to add my meat. Push it out of this plastic. Break up the meat. I'm browning the meat here, and then on another burner I'm heating up my favorite mild red enchilada sauce. Now sometimes I make my enchilada sauce from scratch. I did not have time to do it this time, so I'll have to do that another time. And a lot of times I make shredded meat enchiladas also, but tonight we're going to do the ground elk meat, and it's super fresh. You can see how red it is. We're just going to let this cook a little bit longer before we add our spices. Then I got the enchilada sauce heating up. Just kind of warm it up a little bit on the side. Alright, so now it is time for us to add the spices that I already sprinkled out in here. So I'm going to do that. Now it's starting to brown up. That's smelling really good. I'm going to turn it down a hair. And then, next thing, the onions and the garlic. Chilies. I think I might have been, I should have grabbed a bigger frying pan maybe. I still got to add stuff, so we'll see what happens. I hope I don't overflow. Let that cook a little bit. And then I'm going to add, I got mild green chilies in a jar, in a bottle. And I'm going to add some of these, a generous amount. Maybe I should add the whole bottle. So I'm going to stir. Okay, another mishap with the phone. Okay, I'm going to put the rest of these green chilies in here. smelling very delicious. I got a lot of meat here. I don't think I'm going to end up even using all this meat, but we only have, I probably should have made this into 2 different meals, but I can make enchiladas another day if I have more than fits my tray tonight. So now I'm going to go ahead, I have a bunch of the green chilies, I got poblano chilies, I got onions, and I'm going to add some sour cream. More sour cream. So that one ran out. I gotta open up another sour cream. Okay. Now we're getting some liquid off the green chilies, which is a good thing. Okay, we will see if this is enough sour cream. What I'm basically doing is I'm making like a green sauce with the sour cream and the green chilies. Now you could buy green sauce. That's another option. You could buy your favorite green sauce, and at that point you would just add the green sauce instead of the sour cream. And then you wouldn't have needed all these green chilies. And I might do a video where I make a rendition of that. Okay, so I'm going to just stir this up. It's nice and moist. Okay, I'm going to finish stirring this up and then I'm going to take it to the counter. I'm going to enchiladas. And first thing you got to do is you have to start by putting some of the red sauce down. Of that. Then I heated up this enchilada sauce because it's easier to work with the corn tortillas, because I'm going to dip this in here. Okay, so dip these tortillas into the warm enchilada sauce. I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to go ahead and put a line of the ground elk and peppers and things in here. I'm going to put it over here. And drop another tortilla in. You end up with messy hands. And put the meat like this. Roll it and just push them in there tight, as tight as you can. Now for me, I consider this easy enchiladas because I didn't have to make the sauce from scratch. I kind of made the green sauce from scratch because I did it with the chilies and the sour cream and did it that variety. I'm going to continue to do this. Oh, it's falling apart. Use my tongs. Here we go. I'm going to continue to do this, and I'm going to show you how far I pack these, how much I pack these in. Okay, so most casserole dishes, you're not going to be able to lay them side by side like this. So I usually end up going and having them sideways. Otherwise, it will overlap. Let's see. Maybe we can make it work. Might be able to make it work. Otherwise, we're going to have it this way. So this is actually an extra big one. So you could either go this way or have it slightly overlap and go this way And this one like long enchilada. That's will work too. If you have a 9 by 13 though, you're definitely going to have, this is a 15 by 10. The 9 by 13, you're definitely going to have to lay your enchiladas going this way when you get to this point. But I think we can make it work this way. So I'm going to continue to do this, and I'm going to grate some cheese. And I personally like to have a size that I can manage with my hands, so I always break it in half. Now, a lot of times I will get out my big food processor and I will use the food processor to grate a whole bunch of cheese. But when I have a smaller job, I prefer to just go ahead and do it by hand because it's a lot of work to clean the whole food processor. In this method, the work to clean it is not as much, but the work to grate the cheese is. So I kind of argue with myself, what do I really want to do? You know, so I'm going to go ahead and grate this cheese and then I'll put it on the enchiladas. Okay, so now I'm going to sprinkle the cheese on top. I'm try to do it evenly so that you don't have one spot that's super thick that's not going to melt, and one that's super thin that's going to get done before. So best that you can. Now I just use mild cheddar. Some people like Kobe, and that's fine, or they like sharp cheddar. But personally, I use the mild cheddar for this sort of thing. And I have preheated my oven. It's always a good idea to preheat your oven, because if you don't preheat the oven and then you pop it in there while it's preheating, you could actually burn your food. So I'm just going to spread this around evenly. There's a few spots that's higher than the others. I'm just going to cover it all up. Then you could just pop this in the oven just like this if you'd like. If you want, which is what we like onions. Now if you have olives, that's fine too. I've done it with olives before. I did onions and olives. But I'm just going to take some white onion. And you have to like white onion. I know there's people out there that don't, so just skip this step then. And then I'm going to, as soon as I get this done, I'm going to pop it in the oven at 350. It's probably going to take around 30 minutes or so, but I'll just keep on checking and I will show you when it is done. I'll show you before it's done so you know when not to pull it, and then I'll show you when it's done. Yes, we do like a lot of onions. Most people do not want this many onions on their enchiladas, but we like them this way. Okay, let's check and see. I know this is not done, but I want to show people what it looks like if you're iffy on whether it's done or not. So I'm going to just pull this out so you can see. And yes, the cheese, oh, there we go. Yes, the cheese is melted. The onions are cooking, but it's not quite done yet. So if it's looking like this, just give it a few more minutes and we will check back in just a few. Okay, I'm going to pull the enchiladas from the oven. I just took a peek and they're looking really good. Can't wait to dive into these. I'm going to adjust the camera. Okay. All right, so I am going to go ahead and let these cool down just a tad, and then I'm going to taste test it. Okay, so here's my dinner. I'm going to put a little dollop of some sour cream on the enchiladas, and then I'm going to try it up. I started dinner late, so I'm starving because it's like really late at night. So I'm going to go ahead and try this. Let's see if I can show you without me dumping all my food. Okay. Very, very good. One of my favorite Mexican foods is enchiladas. And I will have enough for several days because I made a huge casserole of it, and I have some ground meat left over. So I can make enchiladas again. Maybe I'll throw it into the freezer and then the meat will be done and then it'll be super quick. Tastes so good. Can't wait to finish my plate because it's late and I'm very hungry. Thank you for watching. Thank you for those of you who subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And if you like this content, I hope you subscribe also, and it is free. And thank you for watching. Have a great evening.